What will our bodies be like? For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. One of the specific questions here, we've talked about the body already, but there's a specific question that people often ask, which is, how old will we be in the resurrection? Well, in some ways, we'll be brand new in the resurrection, but remember, Adam and Eve even were created as adults. So how old was Adam 3 hours after he had been created? Well, he was 3 hours old. But did he look 3 hours old? No, he didn't. So, I mean, God can certainly, what form will we be in? Will we be in the resurrected body of like a teenager or, a middle-aged person or whatever? So, Alistair McGrath, in his Brief History of Heaven, says, this issue, how old will we be in the resurrection, caused the spilling of much theological ink, especially during the Middle Ages. By the late 13th century, the church's emerging consensus was this: as each person reaches their peak of perfection around the age of 30, they will be resurrected as they would have appeared at that time, even if they never lived to reach that age. Peter Lombard, writing in 1150 AD, said, a boy who dies immediately after being born will be resurrected in that form which he would have been if he had lived to the age of 30. What's magic about 30? You're probably wondering. I am. The New Jerusalem will thus be populated by men and women as they would appear at the age of 30, but with every blemish removed. Now, Thomas Aquinas, in the 1200s, said, and therefore in each of these human nature will be brought back by the resurrection of the state of its ultimate perfection, which is in the state of youth toward which the movement of growth is terminated and from which the movement of degeneration begins. In other words, your peak. Now, what is your peak? I actually think it's probably earlier than age 30, although there's some sports where athletes tend to peak a little bit later, and then there are others like gymnastics where they peak very, very young. But in terms of what was the peak, if you look back at your life, where did you reach your peak? Maybe that will be where you'll be in the resurrection.